Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We're straight into it today. We're going to be doing a showcase on the newly EZA Strike Renewal event. Android 16, of course, you can get him for free, you can awaken him for free, EZA him for free, all those type of good things. We're straight into it. We have him on an Android and an Android/Cell Saga category because he does have his high chance of guarding attached to all allies attacking in the same turn being on an Android/Cell Saga or Android/Cell Saga category allies or characters. So we unfortunately 13 isn't going to be on that because we do have a friend Cell where to get as many Android/Cell Saga categories on there as possible. Of course, I don't have the new Cell, so those of you who actually do have the new Cell, you're kind of up with this guy right now. Unfortunately, I didn't pull for him. Eventually, we will get more coins though. But in terms of these Strike Renewal events, I don't really know where to set the bar in terms of what I should at least expect. All I know is the Trunks and Mighty Mask wasn't great. Whereas this guy, I've seen some things. On JP before he came out in Global, I've seen some things. He's been run in Red Zone. He is viable in Red Zone. Defensively, he looks at his best amazing. He still looks pretty good defensively anyway for a free-to-play unit, but don't know if I should have the same like standard for the Strike Renewal event EZAs with normal free-to-play unit EZAs, or if they should be different. I'm not sure. As I said, the first two weren't great. They weren't anything to write home about. But this guy defensively looks amazing. So we do have, of course, Android 13 with the attack and defense plus 30% right now. To be fair, considering how bad this guy's link set is, it's actually a good thing that primarily when you do run, primarily based Android category teams, Android itself, Artificial Lifeforms has a lot of Android units, Androids and Cell Saga does, especially for the extreme units, Target Goku, Saviors and Connected Hope, no, but you'd probably never be running Connected Hope, and Saviors isn't a great, isn't a great category. But the other four, they do have a lot of Android units on there, and the main decent thing, which I typically don't like in showcases, but in terms of team building wise, a lot of the Android units have supports. A lot of them have supports. So you're always, potentially supporting with 2 units on one rotation, best case scenario 3. But there's never just one category support unit like 19 and Jiro, for example. A lot of the units support. And that is actually going to help this Android 16 because his link set isn't great. I mean, you're literally seeing it right now. We literally only have, what, 3 links active? No, we have one singular link active. One. He's actually gonna have no links active right now because I do want to keep Cell on rotation so we can try to get that high chance to guard off with Android/Cell Saga category allies. But even with one link active, which is Android Assault, which is defense plus 20%, which is actually quite nice. It's actually quite a common link with Androids. With attack and defense plus 30%, he's only on a 261k attacks and 163k defense. Even his link set itself isn't that great. Like, what it's offering isn't great. A lot of them are actually key links, but key links you can't get off. So Android Assault, quite standard link, 1.89 mil. So we're just shy of 1.9 million attack stat. This guy, you're not bringing him to deal damage. He's not here for that whatsoever. I mean, you're not going to be getting his links off. His link set, even if you did get all the links active, isn't that great. You're not getting loads of attack links active. As you can see, his attack stat, even with 30% attack and defense support, isn't that great. You're not even hitting 2 mil. As I said, it's okay. Because the main reason why you'd be bringing him is purely because he is an absolute tank. He is a sponge. You might as well call him Bob. You see what I did there? It's not the best joke in the world, but you see what I did there. Android Assault, key plus 2 and defense plus 20%. Mechanical Menaces. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure what units have that link. Who has that link? Other Android 16s, which you can't link him with. Aurelies. What was his name? Is his name Giru? Yeah, Giru. You also have Rildo. Mecha Frieza, who, to be fair, actually eventually gets a Strike Renewal EZA. You're not going to be running this Don on any of those categories. So you're never getting that link active, which, again, kind of hurts him because that gives him key. Gentleman, to be fair, you can actually get active with Cell, which of course, Dokkan Fest transforming Cell. If you have him, you're kind of up because not only does he belong on Android/Cell Saga, which again, if you have 2 of those allies attacking in the same turn, it says when all, but him himself and then 2 others. He has a high chance to guard. Also, Cell, very, very good unit. Good addition to androids and android/Cell Saga. He has tough as nails as well, which is... He mainly has defensive and key links. But as I said, the majority of the key links you can't get active. You can't... I say majority. Shattering the Limit is there. It's mainly mechanical menaces. But then he has tough as nails, Soul versus Soul. And then Super Strike. Which, of course, the only units to have Super Strike links are Super Strike characters. And none of the Super Strike characters go on the same category as him. So you're never going to be getting those, like his link set, you're hardly ever going to be getting any of his links active. At most, you'll have Android Assault active, Gentleman, maybe Tough as Nails, and maybe Shattering the Limit. But more than likely, Android Assault and Gentleman, if you have the Cell, the Dokkan Fest Transforming Cell, or the EZA LR Fizz Cell, those are the only two links you're ever going to have active. But as I said, it doesn't really matter, because this guy isn't brought here to deal damage. That's not why he's here. These two don't go on Android/Cell Saga, do they? No, so we still can't potentially get the guard off, but that's okay. However, they do share the best links currently with him. You know, his best linking partner right now, I'm pretty sure, I'm not actually entirely sure if this is true, but I think it is, which is his best linking partner sharing 4 links is an Android 80 unit, a strength Android 80, but I'm pretty sure it's a World Tournament unit, because I don't recognize it and I don't have it. So... And you're not really going to be taking him on any events with you. So with no support, with 3 links active, 234k attack stat, 170k defense, 174k defense. It's not bad for a free-to-play unit, but as I said, his link set isn't great in general. And it's not great as overall, because you're never really going to be getting the links active. As I said, for a unit that doesn't have many attack links and for a unit that isn't here to deal damage, I mean, look, literally 1.69 million. He's not going to be dealing damage for you. The only thing that's useful for him super attacking is the fact he does raise his defense by 30% for 1 turn, which is a nice little extra to have on top. So, I mean, if you go in the dupe system, your best bet is either going like full additional to potentially, or hopefully at best case scenario, super attack twice so you can raise his defense twice. You know, if his guard doesn't come off, and then potentially the rest just give him dodge, because crits are just kind of useless. And yes, unless you want extra, you know, you want extra crit. Or no, not extra crit. You want extra chip damage, which, you know, as I said, isn't really going to be useful with this guy. At the start of turn, he does get attack and defense plus 160%. He gets an additional defense plus 80% when facing 2 or less enemies. So if you're in Goku event, Vegeta event, or you're in Red Zone, which again, he is viable for Red Zone, which is great because it's a free-to-play unit that everyone can get for free, and Rainbow out for free. He'll have 240% defense at the start of turn, and then of course, as I said, he does raise his defense by 30% on super. So that's why I said you may want to go full additional to try and get the additional super off. Raise his defense by 60% in 1 turn, make him a little bit extra bulky, you know, on top of potentially having a chance to dodge. You know, if you give the rest of those instead of crits into dodge. Also, he has a high chance of guarding, which is a 50% chance, which is literally a coin flip. It's a coin toss chance of guarding all attacks when all allies attacking in the same turn are androids/Cell Saga category allies, which is why I said when you are using him in harder events and you do want to try and get that guard off, for those of you who pulled this cell, these guys are viable in harder events. I think they're also viable for Red Zone as a floater. You know, you also have the likes of 19 and Jerome and a few other units. You definitely want to pack the team out with Android/Cell Saga category allies. Primarily, if you're going to use an Androids team, Androids that are on Android/Cell Saga as well, to make sure you have the best chance possible to get that 50% chance to guard come off. So, guarding with a total of 240% defense at the start of turn is very, very good for a free-to-play unit, hence why he's viable for Red Zone. Not only that, if he supers as well and then gets hit, you know, that's even more defense with the guard, which means he's even defensively better. And then not only that, these two, not only are they going to be... Do they support with key? Can't remember, do they? Yeah, this is what I mean. A lot of Android units, they support with key. So that's also going to help you get his super attack off, you know, especially with raising his defense. But I said it's not overly important that you super attack with him. You know, the extra defense is nice, but it's definitely not necessary. And also, I guess some extra damage would be quite useful, but again, he won't be doing too much because as you can see, or as you've seen, a 1.7 mil attack stat isn't going to be doing too much in the harder events in the game where a lot of the bosses have damage reduction. So, you know, the support on an Android category team or with Android units definitely help, but it's definitely not necessary. But with a unit like this who gives defense on support, definitely going to make him even tankier. But hopefully, we can actually, he might actually kill them. He might actually kill Goku right now, but I mean, if the guard doesn't come off in this video, it's not the worst in the world. You know what guard looks like. I just kind of want to see what the numbers are if his guard comes off. Or he can get 1.4 mil crit. Yeah, but there you go. I personally didn't give him dodge purely for like the showcase sake, but you know, it could be a decent idea to do that because crit's just kind of wasted. But he also guards all attacks. He has guaranteed guard when facing 3 or more enemies. And then when he does guard, he will have 60% damage reduction. Again, this is why I've told you, he is incredibly viable for red zone. Like 100% viable for red zone. Because if he does guard, which when you're in red zone or when you're in Goku or Vegeta event, when you're facing 2 or less enemies, which you're always going to be doing, so you're always facing 1. When his guard comes off, when that 50% chance the guard comes off, not only we have 240% defense, but you also have the guard come off, which means you also have 60% damage reduction, which means you're taking no damage on basics. That defense on a free-to-play unit is great, but also with guard and 60% damage reduction, you're taking nothing. That means even in the hard events and red zone eventually when it's on global, when you get supered, this guy will just be soaking it up. Hence the SpongeBob reference earlier. Like a sponge, he'll be soaking all the damage. This is why him getting super attacks off and also him actually dealing damage isn't important, because that's not why you're bringing him. You're bringing him to just soak up damage. But when it comes to SBR and ESBR, when you're always going to, majority of the time, be facing at least 3 or more enemies, he's always going to have his guard active, which is great. So, when, you know, if you take him into SBR or ESBR, he's going to be fantastic, because again, not only will he have 240% defense at the start, no, he won't have 240% defense in SBR or ESBR, because you only get the additional defense plus 8% when facing 2 or less enemies. You won't have the extra defense. You will have 160% defense for a free-to-play unit, which is okay, but I mean, does it really matter when you have guard active, guaranteed? And then when your guard is activated, he has 60% damage reduction, which means in SBR and ESBR, this guy is going to be soaking up everything. And it's just that little bit sweeter because his guard is guaranteed when you're facing 3 or more enemies, which is great. So in SBR and ESBR, he's amazing. When it comes to you know, single boss events like Goku and Vegeta event, he's going to be good there as well, especially if he does get that high chance to guard come off. And with one of the hardest events in the entire game coming to global in a month, he's also viable for red zone. But as long as you have androids and Cell Saga category allies attacking in the same turn, as long as there's 2 others, so again, for those of you who did pull the Cell, you're kind of winning here, and also who do have 19 and Jiro, and also the 18 and 16, which I have neither of them. In fact, I don't have any of them 3. Hopefully I managed to pull them during the anniversary, because I'll be on the F2P pool apart from Cell. You're up. It means you have more chance of getting his guard to come off, or not more chance, but you know, you're more than likely, because you have more android / Cell Saga category allies on the team, you know, to attack in the same turn, but you'll still have a 50% chance to guard. You know, does that make sense? I'm hoping that makes sense. I'm actually not going to super with you, because hopefully, I mean, it's not really the best chance, you know, best place to guard, because he does have type advantage right now. But I kind of want the guard to come off. Like, super him. I mean, if it doesn't come off, it doesn't come off. You know how guard works. He does have type advantage here, which is kind of annoying. But I mean, all in all, he's a very, very good unit. He's, as I said, out of the 3 EZAs on global we've had so far for the Strike Renewal event EZAs, he definitely is the best one. The other 2, as I said, were nothing to write home about. He's definitely the best one. And as I said, he's viable in pretty much every piece of hard content we have in the game. SBR, ESBR, Goku and Vegeta event, and Red Zone. The only, I guess, slight downside you can have to him being in Goku, like any singular boss event, you know, Red Zone, Goku and Vegeta event, is unlike SBR and ESBR, we have guaranteed guard. You only have a 50, I say only, but you have a 50% chance to guard in these events, which I'm not personally a fan of chances to guard. I never have been. I know a lot of you aren't either. You know, I think as long as the game would tell us if a unit was guarding, then it would be a little bit more accepting, but we'll just have to wait to see if that happens in the future. But, you know, 50% chance to guard, on top of the fact you're going to have that additional 80% defense when facing 2 or less enemies, on top of the 160 you already get, and also raising his defense on super, I mean, his defense, and as I said, for a free-to-play unit after supering, I mean, even before supering, 240% defense at the start of turn is quite nice. And then when you super, his defense is going to be in a very good spot for a free-to-play unit. And then if that 50% chance to guard comes off as well, with 2 other Android and Cell Saga category allies attacking in the same turn, I said he'll be soaking up all the damage. He'll literally be taking no damage, even on a super, hence why he's also viable, and people run him in red zone right now on JP. And even then, he soaks up supers like a sponge. I said, call him Bob. Call him SpongeBob, because that's how good he is. And then also, as I said, he's going to be amazing in SBR and ESBR, because you're always going to be facing at least 3 or more enemies the majority of the time, which means his guard is guaranteed. And then when he guards in any event, you have 60% damage reduction, which is massive. So ideally, his best place, I mean, does he have a best place? I mean, SBR and ESBR probably edges it because you're guaranteed to guard, which means you're always going to have 60% damage reduction, but he's still viable, as I said, in Goku Vegeta event and even in red zone for a free-to-play unit. So to end it off, that was meant to be free-to-play unit. I don't know why I kind of added a little, but we move. To end it off, I mean, we got support, which is going to be giving extra attack plus 40% from the LR androids, which is not going to do a lot, but you might as well show it off. We're literally almost at a 200k attack, at 192k. They're both, the Cell and androids are both from Android / Cell Saga, so hopefully his guard comes off, but I don't think he'll kill here. Hopefully his guard comes off, but it doesn't. I mean, you know what guard does. You know, it makes a lot of damage, basically turn into no damage. But it would be nice to see how much he can tank for. But we do have a 270k attack stat. That's kind of the only downside to this unit, if you could find any. One guaranteed one is the link set, but even then, 1.95 mil. It's not bad. It's not bad. But I said you're not bringing him to deal damage. One downside is definitely his link set, but supering doesn't really matter. There, the guard was active. He took 108 damage. The guard was active there. He took no damage. So, I mean, at least you can see what he's tanking right there, which is pretty nice. Which is pretty nice. As I said, his link set is bad, but even if he doesn't super, it's not the worst thing in the world, because that's not why you're bringing him. He's not here to build damage. And then, I guess one of the other downsides, if I was to nitpick, is the fact that you're not always guaranteed guard, but guaranteed guard against 3 or more enemies is still good. And having a high chance to guard against 2 or less enemies is still pretty good. It's just, I'm not a fan of chances to guard, but all in all, is a very, very good free-to-play unit. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you next video, guys, and peace.